David, if you could think about one thing that the behavioral healthcare industry could improve on or change this year, something that we could work on this year, what would that be?
I think that we need a system that is reliable and trustworthy to all people, which means there needs to be unity. There needs to be a sense that we the consumers, we the parents of a child who's addicted, we the addicts ourselves, are entering into a treatment system that we can trust. And right now, it's just too all over the map. We don't know what kind of care we're going to get. I mean, in some places we're going to get brilliant, wonderful care, state-of-the-art care. In some places we're not. So I think that the treatment industry, first of all, needs to recognize the fact that there is a public perception problem, because we on the outside perceive the chaos that exists there. And so I think the industry, the more it can unify around evidence-based practices, and then the second piece of it is have buy-in so that everybody is on the same page, and then we communicate it. That's the other piece, is to be able to communicate it to the people who need treatment, to need help. It's modeled after any other system.
Right.
If I had cancer, or if God forbid, my son had cancer, my wife had cancer, early stages, pretty straightforward what we're going to do. We're going to go to a doctor, the doctor's going to refer us. The kinds of range of treatments that are appropriate are there. I mean, everybody's different. Some people might need, a different mixture of chemotherapy or radiation treatment or whatever it is, and it might change over time. But it's pretty clear. There is a set of best practices. So the more the industry can create that, follow that model, it will be a godsend. Mm-hmm. It will serve people who need this and who are right now in, just overwhelmed and desperate.
Great. So David, in your talk this morning, I thought it was so appropriate, because you're not only talking to industry professionals, but you're also talking to families, because we've all felt the power of addiction in our families. And so what would you say to families that might be listening to this or watching this?
Well, the first thing, and this is something I don't have to tell anybody who's in the middle of this, because they know, but it is acknowledging the hell. It is the hardest thing in the world, and we are not prepared. Nobody teaches us this. It is so hard to have somebody we love in trouble. We know that they could die. We know that they have... it is so hard to have somebody in our family, somebody we love, suffering with this disease. It is horrific to watch. But it's not only that. It also is incredibly traumatic, because we are living with somebody who... somebody we love, but also somebody who is transformed, oftentimes, especially when addiction progresses. And you've got somebody who is... Addicts often do things that they would never do if they weren't addicts. My son lied to me. He broke into our home. So we feel on one hand, this terror, this desperation, and on the other hand, anger. Why? How could you do this to me? How could you do this to the rest of our family? So I think people have to understand, first of all, to acknowledge what we feel. It's all exactly normal. It's what anybody would feel who was going through this. It's hard. The other thing is to understand that we are not alone here, and we think we are. The most important pieces of our own recovery as a family, not just as it applied to my son's recovery, was when we finally admitted that we were going through this. We talked about it openly. Among friends. We went to support groups. We went to, my wife and I went to a parents group of people who are addicted. We went to Al-Anon meetings. It was huge. And one of the really confusing things about this disease is that because we feel that a lot of the behavior is directed at us, family members, moms, dads, husbands, wives, parents, children, whatever it is, whoever we are, we get beaten down. Mm-hmm. And it's hard, and sometimes we're ready to give up, and sometimes people are telling us we have to give up, and we wash our hands. We think that treatment doesn't work, we think, because our loved one relapses, and they relapse again and again and again. The most important thing that I would say to family members is not to give up. Don't give up on somebody you love, because there's always hope for someone. There is always hope until there isn't. And while there's hope, anything we can do to get somebody we love into treatment, that's our job. Mm-hmm. anyway.
Great. I think it was well said.
Okay.
David, thank you so much for being our guest and for sharing everything you did today. Really appreciate you coming out.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a privilege, and I'm so grateful for the work that you're doing.
Great. Thank you so much.